So recently I came to a pretty urgent realization. I'm getting stupid. Anytime I need to work on a project for more than like an hour and a half, I just lose focus. I don't know if it's from the black mold they found in my preschool when I was a kid, or if it was the water that I was drinking. I'll start off great. I'll like get all my stuff in order. I'll get a little list. Everything will be like in its own time slot. And then I blink and I'm on Instagram. That was until I read this thing about a 25 5-minute timer. It's a technique called Pomodoro, which is like Italian for tomato. It's basically based off these little like kitchen timers that would only be set for 25 minutes. And the idea is that you only work for 25 minutes and then the rest is just you walking around for the next 5. So I'm going to use my esteemed computer science degree to make something that'll help me. Because with how things are going, that degree is probably going to be worth tomato. Okay, I've been working for 3 hours. This is what I got so far. It's a glorified timer. But the whole idea I came up with was once you get one rotation, one Pomodoro, this little tomato plant grows a little bit until you do 4 sessions. 3, oh my gosh, okay, I'm so tired. And if you pause the timer at any point during like its growing process, it'll just die and you'll lose the tomatoes. Obviously, it is not finished, but I usually turn into a vegetable myself if I don't get a whole 8 hours of sleep, and I got work tomorrow, so I'm gonna go do that. Okay, we are back. Today, I think I'm going to focus on just making the UI a little better because right now it is very ugly. At my actual job, I am a stinky back-end data engineer, so I never actually have worked with the aesthetic front end. So this should be interesting. But for those of you who are curious, I built the app in React and used Tailwind CSS for the pretty bits. And I've heard a lot of people say that Tailwind CSS is like the way to make things pretty, but to me, that is a super ugly long class name right there. Okay, so the first thing I did was I decided to actually change up the actual vector art to this actual icon art. Seemed to work pretty good. And for the images, I am not an artist, so I literally just asked Google Gemini to generate me some stuff. Except I told it to make me a tomato plant, and this is more like an upside down piece of holly. And it is definitely not Christmas time. But just for the base look of the app, this looks passable. I'm gonna work a little bit more and then get back to you guys. Okay, it has now been 3 more hours and it's looking pretty good. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Okay, so 2 things that I added was I made the actual plant look more like a tomato here. And then I also, right after I get to the final growth phase, wow, look at that little guy. He is happy, dude. I added a to-do item, so if you wanna read a book, you can have that here. And so while you're doing your Pomodoro timer, you can have a little bit of a list here to hopefully structure your thoughts and what you actually need to get done. I know it kind of might seem dumb, but this is honestly super fun to just have something that I know I'm gonna use and that I built relatively quickly. But one thing it is definitely not ready for is the cold, hard world of the open internet, which is where today's sponsor comes in, TestSprite. TestSprite's basically an MCP server that'll make sure that your website is battle ready and hardened for the internet. It's got a super generous free tier of 150 credits, and the first month of the starter pack, which is 400 credits, is a whole $0 for the first month. But honestly, for me, the best part about this is how easy it is to set up. All you gotta do is actually download the TestSprite MCP and then simply prompt your AI, whatever you're using, to just test your project with TestSprite. And boom, spins up a local host server. And we're gonna go ahead and upload a description of the app I made here. And just like that, every component on my front-end app that I just made is getting processed and checked. All right, I'm gonna go eat and give it a few minutes to cook. Okay, I am back and I'm seeing a lot of red, but that's actually good. That means that it's done a thorough check and I can actually understand what is actually failing about this app. Okay, some of the things that it actually captured, I was not even thinking of at all. Stuff like adding tasks using the actual enter key, did not think of that. And also keeping in mind different UI designs for phones or iPads or computers. Honestly though, I'm fine with those issues because it's just gonna be used personally for me, at least for now. But the one thing that I did purposely leave out is actually the plant death message mechanic. I wanted to see if it actually caught it. And not only did it actually find the issue, it gave an entire diagnosis of what the issue was and plans on how to fix it. So I am just going to copy and paste that and let cursor do what it does best. And there you go. Now it actually shows that when you actually do the pause, the pop-up happens and your plant dies. All right, I'm actually going to use this app to focus on editing this video you're watching right now. Maybe it's just me, but I still think it's actually so bonkers that you can just create an app like this in literally 2 days when like 4 years ago, that would take you a week. And it actually worked. I spent an entire 25 minutes editing this video. I hope I did because of the app and not because I knew I had to get this shot for the outro, but I'm not going to think about that. Anyways, like and subscribe if you want to see more of this, and I will see you in the next one.